Oh,
I am apparently live on YouTube for another test live stream. Um, because I've just been doing a Let's Face It. I have some friends here with me from the Let's Face It group, and we were drawing mouths together. And this is my one over here. And then some strange things started happening and lagging. And as I'm looking forward to a month of live streaming every day with you, I invited my Let's Face It friends to come on over here. And they're still in
yeah.
Zoom, but now here together with me. And I'm going to be drawing a test 10-minute portrait for um, for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to start my advent calendar of daily 10-minute portrait live streams. So I have, okay, my Zoom friends, you'll be able to talk to me, but no one on YouTube will hear you. So feel free to say what you like. And I'm going to bring up some reference and we're going to draw a 10-minute portrait together. And I think this live stream seems to be working, which is a very good sign. Because I would love you all to join me every day for the coming 24 days throughout Advent for some live streams. Hey, Louisa. Cool. Yes, you're here. You see my hand. Do you see anything else? Oh, I haven't really been doing anything else yet. I just had my drawings. Okay, okay. So it looks like I'm moving. Yeah, I'm moving on YouTube. That's good. Um, all right. I'm getting a warning over on YouTube that says my bitrate is too low. But as I'm midstream, I can't change it right now. So I'm just going to go for it in a moment and see how we go. I have the soothing sounds of Louisa's pigeons in my ears guiding me through this experience. Okay. Oh, it seems maybe. I can change this midstream. It's YouTube has asked me for a higher bitrate, so I'm going to give it one. And I hope I won't drop any frames. Things will keep moving nicely, and we can do a drawing together. So, as part of Let's Face It, which is a great year-long program, I have been doing monthly timed portrait sessions with my friends in Zoom. And these are the mouths that we're just drawing. We had a mouth-themed sketching session, and that was fun. I hope those of you who joined me there enjoyed it. And now I've got some references that we have drawn together in the past. But let me see. Maybe I can get one that we didn't draw in the other streams. I have a lot of amazing references here by Dino Sarao. There's Nick Raz, Dino Sarao. I thought this one's really interesting because the mouth is very interesting, and we were just focused on drawing mouths. So, and the lighting here is really interesting. I'm doing a month of live streams focusing on darkness and light in the darkest time of the year and the dark time that we're in. And moving through the darkness towards the light is a beautiful symbolism and significance of the Advent time of year. And if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, then it really is quite dark out at the moment. And I thought it'd be interesting to reflect that in the drawings that we work on throughout the month. So I've been collecting some cool references. The reference here, the lighting is really amazing. So we're about to do a 10-minute portrait. My friends over in Zoom, I will send you the reference in the chat so that you can open that up and draw from it. because it's just here digitally at the moment. But so that we're working from the same image, I'll just put this into the Zoom chat, and you can hopefully download this image directly from Zoom and draw along. Can you see that in the chat? It's a .png file, which you should be able to open. Yeah, and it's one of the references that we just worked on in the quick sketching. It was this mouth, and now we'll work on the full portrait in a 10-minute drawing session. Yeah, and I'll move my my mouth over to the side as I get ready to draw right here. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing a workshop themed line and light. So although there's a really awesome shadow shape all down the left side of the photo here, I'm going to focus on drawing with line and try and communicate that form just with line. So this is an interesting challenge and fun to do, and that's what we're going to be focusing on in tomorrow's workshop. Okay, so I've got my timer here. I'm going to set it for 10 minutes. I see that the frame rate is now lagging on YouTube, but it says it's excellent condition. So I'm just going to start drawing, and hopefully it will work out. And you can tell me if you're on YouTube, tell me how the quality of the stream is, and if there are things I need to get ironed out before we start the daily streams tomorrow. Good. You think it's okay? That sounds good to me. Okay. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to put the timer on and I'm going to start drawing. Usually I would have the right reference right next to my drawing, but now it's over there on the computer screen. So this may be a little more skewed than is often the case. But it's good to sometimes draw in a different kind of context and situation than you're used to challenge yourself. And just have a different way of physically looking at something. There are some great exercises like setting up a still life in one room and walking into a different room to do the drawing or painting of it. So you really try and engage your memory, and you have to keep going back and forth. I've never actually done it, but it sounds like a great exercise. Just in kind of shifting the way you look at what you're drawing. So it's very convenient to have your reference right alongside your drawing space. But when you're in a real world situation, if you have the good fortune of being able to go to a life drawing session, or you're out and about in the world, then sometimes you can't have the reference right next to your paper where you want it to be. So it's really good to be able to practice drawing from different kind of angles and perspectives. So 5 by 5 at Dylan Sarah. What do you mean? 5. Oh, good. Good. It sounds good and it looks good. That's great. That is a boost in confidence after what just happened in the last live session. My pleasure. Thank you for hanging in here with me and keeping on drawing. So yeah, focusing on line, as you can see, I think this is a super fun exercise. It's a great thing to do with like a pen, a fine liner, where it really becomes very minimalist, just focusing on the line. And of course, the good thing about doing this kind of timed practice is that if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It's only 10 minutes because it's something that really requires a lot of practice, but it's really worth putting in that effort of just being brave enough to commit to these kind of clear lines. And something that's been, I think it's hugely beneficial. And I used to, when I would draw something, just on the side over here, I would often be kind of, I'm looking for the line, and I'd be like just redrawing things. I'm like, is that where it is? Is that where it is? Maybe over here? Does it come over here, or is it down here? And then I would end up with these drawings that just had so many lines and was so unclear, which is an interesting kind of process to go through. And I've seen other people doing the same kind of thing. And then maybe you go and erase and try and tidy it up. But if you take the time to practice and be bold and brave and just commit to a single line, you can go. It can be a really steep learning curve. So you may end up with some drawings where you're like, oh, what am I drawing? But then once you catch yourself and you really take the time to be conscious with your reference, what you're looking at, and before you make your mark, you kind of reassess, do I want to go out in this kind of angle, or is it more horizontal? Like, you really get into a practice of really looking before you put your lines down. And it takes time and a kind of commitment to the practice. But once you have it, I find it such an enjoyable way to draw, where you're able to be confident, even if it's not accurate, but still confident in the line work. I think you can get some really strong drawings, and there's a clarity even to this very unfinished portrait. There's like just a clarity to this clear line, which can convey so much. And even if you're way off on the likeness, if you're drawing with clear, thoughtful lines, then it can be a really wonderful drawing, even if it doesn't look like the person. So I think it's a great thing to practice. And that's why during tomorrow's workshop, which you can still join if you want, the link is in the description on the YouTube. Or you can go to dylansara.com and you can buy tickets there. We're going to be focusing on line and light. So we're halfway into this 10-minute portrait, and I would really like to, there's such a strong shadow form, and even though I'm not going to get into the shading of it, I'm really excited to indicate it in this pure line drawing. So there's a very helpful way to find our way around a drawing and to plan how we're going to place our values is shadow mapping. And I'll just start here. These shadow mapping, drawing outlines around shadow forms, and I'm going to keep it lighter than the rest of what I'm drawing. I'll zoom in a little bit. Shadow mapping it gives you extra things to draw. So rather than just the bold defined contours that we're often maybe looking for, like around the mouth and the nose, each shift in value it potentially gives you like a new form to draw. So now I've put in my lines for the really definite features mostly, and now I'm going to softly be putting in these kind of shadow mapping lines, which without doing any shading or tonal variation is going to give an indication of where the shadow is, but just in line. That's why I'm keeping it fairly soft compared to the other line work that I've put down so far. And this would be like an indication if if and when I would choose to add value to this line drawing, then I would already have these forms kind of indicated, letting myself know, like within here is shadow shape, here is a highlight, kind of preserving the highlight in advance. And when you start to, if you have reference which has great shadow shapes in it, it's also really helpful when you're working your way around the drawing, like I was talking about in the last session, that the way you line up perhaps a shadow shape, where does that shadow shape line up with the corner of the mouth? And you can check in with your accuracy to see, okay, have I put things in the right place? Is that lining up properly? Oh no, that's a bit more off to the side. And having these extra shapes to draw is just super helpful, of being able to do this kind of observational drawing and put things in the right place where they belong. Have any questions from my friends in Zoom? Oh, drifted out of focus. Oh yeah, the collarbone. There's a really great anatomy and great extra forms to draw in there. This is spontaneously using this reference. Unfortunately, I can't remember off the top of my head her name, but she's a street artist, like drawing in chalk on the pavement somewhere. I can't remember where, but if you check out Dino Sorrell's Instagram, you will find her, and I'll look into it, and I'll add her name to the description of the YouTube video. Yeah, and so, hey Shannon, welcome to my YouTube. So this is a spontaneous live stream, and I'm glad it seems to be working out well, because I just did I just overwhelmed my computer, I think, with what I was trying to do, putting Zoom into OBS, but using OBS as a virtual camera into Zoom, and then live streaming from OBS to Facebook. And it was about half an hour into my Facebook live stream that everything was just like, nah, not going to work anymore. But this live stream seems to have worked pretty well, which is a good indication. So that was our 10 minutes. A good, very promising for the coming 24 days. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to be doing a 10-minute portrait live stream every day for the next 24 days. It's going to be my Advent calendar for you. I'd love to have you join me for my daily 10-minute portrait practice. And it's going to be at an hour and a half ago. So 9 Central European time, PM, 3 Eastern time, I believe, and noon. But for tomorrow's, because it's Sunday, and I'm going to be doing a Zoom workshop as well, which you can still join. I'm going to be doing these 1.5 hour workshops, and there'll be feedback sessions, and we're going to have some really great reference and be talking through different techniques and different aspects of portraiture. And I think I have my I have my really cool thing here. I'll just put it over here on OBS so I can show you. These are my my 4 event posters for the 4 workshops. So tomorrow we'll be starting with line and light, and on the 8th it's going to be shading and shadow, and on the 15th depth and darkness, and on the 22nd illumination. So these are the themes of the workshops coming in the next 4 Sundays, and until tomorrow, before the first workshop starts, you can get admission to all 4 of them for the price of 3, which is pretty cool, and I think they're going to be really good. I'm happy to have people signing up. There are limited seats, so if you're interested, go to dylansara.com and book your tickets. It's going to be really cool. You can also just join a single or 3 or 2 of the workshops, however you have time. There will also be recordings made available for rewatching, and I think content-wise it's going to be really interesting because these are a very fun, exciting, compelling aspects of portraiture and image making, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you in the workshops, in addition to the daily live streams which will be available for everyone. So that was it for today. I'll see you here again on YouTube tomorrow.